All right, let's unpack this. You know how sometimes you're looking at what seems like a simple list, maybe a family tree or a catalog, and your eyes just glaze
Well,
over?
definitely, we've all been there.
We have. But what if one of those ancient lists, this one from Genesis chapter 10, verse 25, wasn't just a dry roll call?
What if it was something more?
Exactly. What if it held, I don't know, layers of wordplay, really surprising ironies, maybe even an ancient geographical map, all just waiting there?
Precisely. And for you today, that's what we're doing. We're taking a deep dive into the fascinating legacy of one particular man mentioned in that list,
Joktan.
Joktan.
Okay.
We're going to explore how his story, which is often overlooked, let's be honest, is actually a masterclass in ancient biblical storytelling,
Uh-huh.
where, every name, every little detail kind of pulls back a curtain on a much larger picture.
So we're not just reading names off a page, we're like deciphering a code almost.
You could say that, yeah.
This is what the deep dive is all about, really. Our mission today is to help you see how what looks like an ordinary genealogy can transform into this extraordinary journey.
Through history, linguistics, theology.
Right. Just for you, we'll be connecting some dots, finding maybe some hidden messages, and seeing how these ancient texts are, well, often far more sophisticated than they might first appear.
Absolutely.
Okay, so context. We're picking up in Genesis 10. This is right after the Great Flood narrative.
Right. Humanity's starting over, spreading out again.
And the narrative introduces this figure, Eber. He's pretty pivotal. He has two sons, Peleg and Joktan.
And we've touched on Peleg before, haven't we?
We have Peleg, the division man. His name seems to reflect the dividing of the earth, often linked to, Babel and the scattering of languages.
A huge theme. But today, yeah, our spotlight is firmly on his brother, Joktan.
Joktan. And this is where you're saying the naming gets really interesting?
Oh, definitely. This is where let's call it the genius of ancient naming conventions really shines. I mean, on the surface, Joktan is just another name in a list.
Seems that way.
But when we look at the original Hebrew, his name is Joktan. Okay?
Joktan.
And it comes from the root kwain.
Kwain.
Yes. And kwain means to be small or he will be made small. So Joktan's name literally means the small one.
Hold on, the small one? That immediately makes you pause, doesn't it?
It does.
You introduce someone as the small one, and then, you expect them to just kind of fade into the background.
You might think so, but it's quite the opposite, and that's the profound irony we're really digging into today.
Okay.
The text introduces Joktan, the small one, and then immediately follows up with this incredibly long, extensive list. We get 13 sons named.
13.
13 sons, and then it outlines how they spread out, how their settlements cover this huge region.
So the man whose name means he will be made small ends up becoming the patriarch of, vast nations proliferating all across ancient South Arabia.
It's a fantastic reversal.
That's such a classic biblical narrative twist, isn't it?
It really is.
The seemingly insignificant, the small one, being chosen or used by God to achieve these grand, widespread outcomes. It's a theme you see again and again.
Absolutely. Think about Gideon.
Yeah.
His army gets whittled down, made small,
Wait,
right?
it's just 300 men?
Yet they achieve this incredible victory.
Huh.
Or David, the youngest son, the small shepherd boy, overlooked by his own family.
Becomes the great king.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this technique where a name seems to almost contradict destiny, it's a powerful theological statement in itself.
It truly is. And this richness, this linguistic and thematic depth, it isn't just confined to Joktan himself.
It carries on.
It carries right on through his sons' names. They continue this intricate weaving of meaning and geography. It forms a kind of ancient map in a way.
Okay, give us a list. Let's hear them.
All right, so the text lists them. Almadad, Shalef, Hazar-Maveth, Jerah, then Hadoram, Uzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimelech, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab.
Wow, that's quite a mouthful. Some familiar ones in there like Sheba and Ophir.
Exactly. And while they might seem like a bit of a tongue twister together, these aren't random names thrown onto a page.
Mm-hmm.
No, they are deeply embedded with geographical and cultural markers.
Uh-huh.
They effectively trace the migration and the settlement patterns of Joktan's descendants across that whole South Arabian region.
And some of those names, just listening to them, they sound incredible, almost cinematic. Tell us more about Hazar-Maveth because, wow, that one certainly stands out.
Hazar-Maveth. Yes, that's a fantastic fantastic example of the layers we find here. It's a compound name coming
Yeah.
from two Hebrew words.
Okay.
You have Oher, which means settlement or court or enclosure, and then you have Mowat.
Mowat. I think I know that one. Death.
Exactly. Mowat means death.
Yeah.
So his name, Hazarmaveth, translates to something like settlement of death or court of death.
Oh.
It's definitely a vivid name. Maybe even a bit dark to find in a family tree.
Settlement of Death?
Yeah.
That's not a name you'd easily forget, is it?
Not at all.
Imagine introducing yourself at a party. Hi, I'm from the village of Death. Small talk might just come to a screeching halt.
Probably.
But it's not just there for shock value, is it? This name, Hazarmaveth, and others like it perhaps, they aren't just evocative words, they're actually geographic indicators.
Precisely. That's the key insight here. These names are directly tied to actual ancient South Arabian regions,
Right.
a part of the world known for its incredibly rich history. You know, the ancient trade routes, the incense kingdoms.
Frankincense and myrrh, that area.
That's the one. And in fact, Hazarmaveth is widely, almost universally, identified by scholars with the Hadramaut region.
Hadramaut, I've heard of that. In Yemen, right?
That's correct. A historical area in modern-day Yemen renowned for its, well, challenging desert landscapes, its deep wadis, its isolated settlements. It makes sense geographically.
Okay, so it's like the Bible is giving us an ancient cartographer's report. These names are like pins on a map.
Exactly. This genealogical list is, in effect, a textual map. It's geography encoded in names.
So we're not just getting a list of people, we're genuinely getting a map of their expansion. This is really fascinating.
It is, isn't it?
And the text doesn't stop with just the sons' names. Verse 30 you mentioned specifically describes their territory. It says it stretched from Mesha to Safar, the hill country of the east.
Yes, that verse is crucial for understanding the scale of Joktan's legacy, the geographical footprint.
So what can you tell us about these boundary markers, Mesha and Safar?
Well, they define the sort of western and eastern, or perhaps southwestern and northeastern, limits of their territory. Mesha's exact location is a bit debated among scholars.
Often the case with these ancient places.
It is, but it's generally understood to be somewhere on the western side of the Arabian Peninsula, perhaps near the Red Sea coast. Safar, on the other hand, is much more securely identified. It's almost universally connected with the ancient Himyarite capital city of Zafar. Zafar, yes. Located in the central highlands of Yemen, a very significant ancient site. So this verse isn't just a casual mention. It's the Bible's way of drawing a specific and quite broad geographical boundary.
It's providing a clear demarcation then, showing where these Joktanite groups settled.
Exactly, stretching across a really significant portion of the Arabian Peninsula.
That's a huge swath of land for the descendants of the small one to occupy. It really underscores that irony we talked about.
It absolutely does.
And you mentioned Safar. Does that name also have a surprising layer to it, similar to Joktan's own name? Is there more wordplay going on?
Yes. It seems very likely, and this is where the wordplay becomes truly elegant, I think.
Let's hear it.
The Hebrew for Sephir is Sephar. Now, many scholars propose a really compelling connection to a common Hebrew root, Safar.
For far. Okay, what does that mean?
Safar means to count, or to number, or to record, or even to write. Think of words like scribe or book. In Hebrew, they come from this root.
Blue way.
Yes. So if this linguistic connection is intentional, which seems plausible given the context,
It's just a brilliant piece of literary design.
isn't it? You have Joktan, the small one,
Mm-hmm.
whose family line multiplies so extensively that it reaches all the way east or northeast to a place called Sephir,
Which potentially means the counting place or the numbering.
or signifies the place marking the extent of this now countable multitude.
Whoa. So it's like the narrative takes us from the individual who is named small, maybe seemingly insignificant,
Right.
and then traces his lineage all the way to a landmark whose name itself signifies a vast, numerous, countable multitude.
It's a complete conceptual reversal built right into the names and geography.
That's incredible. The small one gives rise to this numberless yet trackable host of descendants whose territory is marked by counting.
It really aligns perfectly with that powerful biblical theme we mentioned earlier, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. God taking what seems insignificant, what seems small in the world's eyes, and multiplying it beyond all expectation.
Like the mustard seed.
Exactly. It's a testament to the idea that God's plans are often realized through, well, unexpected channels, through the ones you might initially overlook.
It's a beautiful narrative arc when you see it that way.
Hmm.
From apparent humility or smallness in the name to this immense fruitfulness documented geographically.
And if we pan back slightly, thinking about Eber again,
Yes.
we see these two significant branches emerging from him. Through Peleg, you get the lineage heading towards Abraham, towards the specific story of Israel.
That's the line usually focused on, yeah.
But then through Joktan, you get this whole other spread of nations, primarily across Arabia. It's like one route, but two distinct diverging branches.
It reinforces that theme of division associated with Peleg, perhaps, but also, in Joktan's case, this unexpected, profound multiplication.
And the Hebrew names, as you've shown us, they just make that theme pop out of the text in a way that's so easily missed if you're just reading a translation.
It's often hidden in plain sight, locked within the original language.
So what we're really discovering here, what you're helping us see, is that this list of names, it isn't just filler. It's not just padding in an ancient text.
Far from it.
It's much more profound. It's what some scholars call theology in geography. Is that the term?
That's a great way to put it, yes. Theology and geography. It's like a divine atlas, where the land itself and the names associated with it tell a deeper theological story.
It's like an ancient poem hidden under a map.
I like that. A poem under a map. It reveals surprising facts, yes, but also these rich insights into how theology was communicated through narrative, through geography, through names.
Even thinking about some of the other names you mentioned, like Jera, doesn't that have a connection too?
It does. Jera is likely linked to Yarek, the word for moon, and probably points to the worship of the moon god, which was very prominent in ancient South Arabia.
So even that isn't random. It adds another layer, another cultural marker.
Exactly. They all contribute small, settlement of death, moon man. They build this incredibly intricate narrative tapestry woven with geography and meaning.
What really stands out here is how these genealogies, these lists that, let's face it, many people might just skim over.
Understandably, sometimes.
Yeah, understandably, but they are actually packed with linguistic wordplay, with profound irony, and with concrete geographical information that scholars can still trace today.
It's storytelling in disguise, a really sophisticated way to convey complex history and a theological message simultaneously.
It just reminds us, again, of the incredible depth embedded in, well, sometimes seemingly every word of these ancient texts.
It really goes.
Honestly, after digging into this with you, I think Joktan would be kind of grinning.
You think so?
Yeah. The small one, who ended up becoming incredibly significant, not just in terms of his descendants spreading out, but in the very fabric of the biblical narrative itself. His story makes such a powerful point.
A point about irony, multiplication, and perhaps divine purpose found in unexpected places.
It makes you realize the depth embedded in every word, every name. This deep dive really shows just how much historical and theological weight can be carried in a single, seemingly simple list.
Absolutely.
So what does this all mean for you, listening in? We've journeyed through these few lines of Genesis 10, verses 25 through 30.
A short passage, but packed.
So packed. And hopefully you've seen just how much depth and detail can be found in what look like simple names and lists.
We've discovered that powerful irony in Joktan, the small one, becoming the ancestor of countless peoples.
And how names like Hazarmaveth, the settlement of death, aren't just, macabre trivia, but geographically significant markers.
We connected the spread of his descendants to real, ancient South Arabian regions, tracing their territory from Mesha to Sefer.
And we explored that fascinating idea that Sefer itself, the boundary marker, might hint linguistically at the transformation from small to a vast, countable multitude.
This journey has really revealed how these ancient genealogies can function as a kind of divine atlas.
Yeah, a rich tapestry of wordplay and theological storytelling woven together.
Exactly.
You've just gotten a shortcut, really, to being well-informed about a piece of ancient text that, frankly, many people might just overlook entirely.
And in doing so, maybe glimpsed the true power of language and narrative in these ancient traditions.
It definitely reveals that power. And maybe this raises an interesting question for you to ponder on your own time.
Oh.
Well, if ancient family trees like Joktan's carried such vivid and sometimes really dark names, names that literally mapped out territory and told the story of irony and multiplication, Imagine discovering that your own family history held names with such evocative, maybe even dramatic meanings. What hidden stories, what kind of legacy might those names tell about your ancestors? And, how might uncovering that shape your perspective today?